సో ఓకే. ఏమైందయ్యా? ఏమైంది? ఇంతేనా? 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 సౌండ్ ఇంత సాల్వా? చాలా నిద్ర పోతారు అందరు. సో సో ఓకే. సో హలో 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 హలో. తగ్గించలేదు. ఓకే. చాలు. Okay, function with variable length arguments. So I said you can write a function with different types of arguments. So there is a variable length arguments. An argument which receives zero or more values is called variable length argument. And this argument is prefixed with star. Okay, this argument is prefixed with the star. So that is called as variable length arguments. So that is called as a variable length arguments. So when you go for variable length arguments is, for example, I want to find the max of two numbers. To find the max of two numbers, you may write a function called max2. To find the max of two numbers, you may write a function called max2 with the two arguments. So if A is greater than B, then you're saying return A. Otherwise, you're saying return B. Now this function is for finding the max of two numbers. Suppose if you want to find the max of three numbers, you may write a function called max3 function, and this will find the max of three numbers. So here you write the logic for finding max of three numbers. You write a logic for finding the max of three numbers. There is a function called max4, and this function is having four arguments. Okay, now this function receive how many values? Four values. And here you write the logic. You write a logic for finding max of how many numbers? Four numbers. So here you are writing a logic for finding the max of three numbers, and here you are finding the logic for finding max of four numbers. But if you see the first function, this will find the max of two numbers. The second function will find the max of three numbers, and third function will find the max of four numbers. But instead of writing number of functions, because if you see all these functions, operations of all these functions are same. Operations of all these functions are what here same. What is the operation you are doing? Finding the maximum. But only one thing is changing. What is that? Number of arguments. Operation is the same, but number of arguments are changing. Now instead of writing number of functions, when more than one function perform same operation, when more than one function perform same operation and number of arguments are changing, instead of writing number of functions, you write only one function. You write only one function with the variable length argument. You write only one function with variable length argument. If I am writing a function with star a, this star indicates which argument? Variable length argument. It's not a pointer. It is a variable length. It is a variable length argument. The star a indicates which argument here? Variable length argument. Variable length argument. It's called as which argument here? Variable length argument. So this argument receives zero or more values. This argument receives zero or more values. This argument receive zero or more values. So it receive either one value or more than one value. So this argument receives zero or more values. For example, yes. For example, I'm writing the function like this. Definition function 1. If I'm writing star a, this indicates function with which argument? Variable length argument. This is a function with variable length argument. I print a and I print type of a. I print a and type of a and I call the function 1 without sending any values. I call the function 1 without sending any values. I call the function 1 by sending one value. I can call the function 1 by sending two values. I can call the function 1 by sending three values. I can call the function 1 by sending four values or any number of values. So first I call the function without sending any values. First what happened? I call the function. First I call the function. I call the function 1 without sending any values. I call the function 1 without sending any values. Then what is a here? Empty tuple. A is empty tuple and it is a tuple. What is the type of it here? Tuple. Then second time when I call the function 1, I call the function 1 by sending one value. Now the tuple is having how many values? One value. Then third time I call the function 1 by sending how many values? Two values. Now tuple is having how many values? Two values. So third time I call the function 1 by sending how many values? Three values. Now tuple is having how many values? Three values. So that is 10, 20 and 30. Next time I call the function 1 by sending how many values? Four values. Now tuple is having how many values? Five values. So that is 10, 20, 30. Okay, 40, 50. But the function is having how many arguments? Only function is having how many arguments? Only one. But one argument is receiving how many values? Number of values. One argument is receiving how many values? Number of values. That you can call it as variable length argument. Now, if you run this, first time when I call the function, now there is a tuple and this tuple is empty and it is of type class tuple. Second, when I call it, now this tuple is having one value and it is of class tuple. And third time when I call it, the tuple is having two values. It is of type class tuple. And third time when I call it, now tuple is having three values. It is of type class tuple. And fourth time when you call it, you send how many values? Five values. Now the tuple is having five values and it is of type class which one? Tuple. But one argument is received how many values? Zero or more values. Now this is the situation when you go for variable length arguments. It is a situation when you go for variable length arguments. The situation when you go for variable length arguments. It is like this. For example, just now I said there is a function called maximum. Maximum which receive number of values. Okay, values. What is the name of the argument? Values. How many values this maximum receives? Any number of values. After receiving values, values is which type here? Tuple type. Values is which type here? Tuple type. And initially, the maximum is zero. Initially, what is the maximum? Zero. Maximum is zero, or suppose maximum initially. So I can write like this. For value in values, every time I'm reading one value, every time I'm reading one value from which one here? Values. Okay, if length of, now I'm writing like this. Okay, finding the maximum, right? If length of, values equal to zero, maximum is none. If length of values equal to zero means if you are not sending any values, then what is the maximum? None. Else, I'm taking which value as a maximum? First value. I'm taking which value as a maximum? First value. And that first value should be compared with what? Rest of the values. So for in range of 1 comma length of values. This is a logic. If maximum is less than, if maximum is less than values of I, if maximum is less than values of I, or values of I is greater than maximum, anything you can write it. Then maximum equal to values of I, and then return maximum value. Suppose assume that result equal to result 1 equal to maximum. I call the maximum by sending how many values here? Two values. So what will happen here? What will happen here? Maximum function is called. What will happen here? Maximum function is called. Maximum function is called. And this maximum function receive how many values? Two values. Maximum function is called. But this maximum function receives how many values? Two values. So your values is a tuple, and this tuple is having how many values? Two values. Then if length of values equal to 0, what is the length of this tuple? 2. Is it 2 equal to 0? No. Then which one is a maximum? I've taken first value as a maximum. Then what you're doing is you're comparing this first value with the rest of the values. So for I in 1 comma length of values, length of values means 1 comma 2. 1 comma 2 means it will generate how many values? One value. So what is the value of I here? 1. And if values of 1 is greater than maximum, what is the values of 1 here? 20. Is it 20 is greater than 10? Yes. What is the maximum now? 20. So after that, it will return maximum. What is the maximum value it returns? 20. So you are assuming initially first value is a maximum value and that you are comparing with rest of the values. So that you are comparing with what? Rest of the values. For example, result 2 equal to maximum. Result 2 equal to maximum. I'm writing like this. So 10, 40, 20, okay, 50 and 10, 40, 20, 50, 30. So what will happen in this case? It will call the function maximum by sending how many values here? 5 values. So values is a tuple, and this tuple is having how many values? 5 values. 10, 40, 20, okay, 50, and there is one more value called which one? 30. So what is the length of this tuple? Is it 0? No. What is the length of the tuple? 5. Is it 5 equal to 0? No. Then which one is initially maximum value? First value. Values of 0. First value is a maximum value. So this value are comparing with what? Rest of the values. Then for I in range of 1 comma length of values. What is the length of values? 5. Means it will generate how many indexes? 4 indexes. 1, 2, 3, 4. What is first I value? 1. Values of 1 is greater than maximum. Values of 1 means 10. Values of 1 means 40. Is it 40 is greater than 10? Yes. Then which one is a maximum? 40 is a maximum. Then next index is a 2. Values of 2 is greater than maximum. What is values of 2? 20. Is it 20 is greater than 40? No. Then next I value is a 3. Next I value is a 3. Values of 3 is greater than maximum. That is 50. 50 is greater than 40. Yes. Then maximum is 50. Next I value is a 4. Values of 4 is greater than maximum. That is 30. 30 is greater than 50. No. Then what is the maximum now? 50 is a maximum. Which one is the maximum? 50 is a greater than? Yes. Right. So, but when a function is required, okay, when function is required to receive more than one value to perform similar type of operation, to perform similar type of operation, then you are trying to use to perform similar type of operation, then you are writing with variable length argument. Now maximum is 20 and maximum is what here? 50. If required more than one value. Now suppose if I'm not sending any value, result 3 equal to maximum, I'm not sending any value. No value sent here. Format maximum is, I'm trying to print what here? Result 3. What is the maximum now? None. Because what is the length of this tuple? 0. The length of this tuple is 0. Then what is the maximum returns here? None. The maximum returns is none. No, not inside for. It should be outside. Not inside if. It is outside if only. If you want, you write it, no problem. You write inside else. You can write in inside else also, no problem. Yes, you can write, or you can write outside also, because we are taking the range value from 1 onwards. We are taking the range value from 1 onwards. You can write it, no problem. Okay, right now, if the function required, but if you want, you can write a function with, but a function can have only one variable length argument. I cannot write a function with multiple variable length arguments. No, I cannot write a function with multiple variable length arguments. I cannot write a function. I cannot write a function with multiple variable length arguments. I can write a function with only one variable length argument. I cannot write like this. If I'm writing like this, it generates error. Okay, so it is saying that invalid syntax. Invalid syntax, because a function can have how many variable length arguments? Only one. Only one. You cannot have multiple variable length arguments. Even you cannot write required argument, and then you can write like this. This is required argument, and this is what variable length argument. But I cannot write both arguments as what variable length argument. So that might generate what here error. So a function is having only one variable length argument. So the output is syntax error. Output is syntax error. This output is syntax error because a function is having only one variable length. Variable length, what is that? Argument. A function can have only one variable length argument. Yes. How many variable length arguments? Only one variable length argument. How many variable length arguments? Only one variable length argument. You cannot have multiple variable length arguments. You can have only one variable length argument. So you can have only one variable length argument, but you cannot have multiple variable length arguments, right? That is what I said. Like if you want a function should receive number of values to perform the operation, then you are writing it with the variable length arguments. Okay. right? But a function can have both the arguments, required argument, default required argument and default argument and variable length argument. A function can have three arguments: required argument, default argument, and variable length argument. But when you write required argument, when you write a required argument, suppose I'm saying 100 comma 200 comma 300 comma 400. So what is the value of a here? 100. But what is the order? Is it this order is correct? Just to see here. Is it this order is correct? Just try to see here. If you run this, you can see what is the first value. The value of A is what? 100. Then the value of B is what? 200. Then the value of C is what? 300 and 400. 300 and 400. But can I write function 1 is 100? I don't want to give the value for B. I don't want to give the value for what? B. But I want to give the value for what? C. Can I give like that? Without giving value to B, because B is a default, right? B is a default. Now, without giving value to the B, can I give the value to the C? Can I say C equal to 10 comma 20 comma 30? Can I say C equal to 10? Can I say C equal to 10? When I run this, so it is given, what is that function one? Unexpected keyword argument. But actually C is a variable length argument or not? Yes. C is a variable length or argument, and that C will receive how many values? 0 or more values. But I don't want to give the value to the B. I want to give the value to what? C, because B is what here? Default. So in this case, whenever you are writing a function with the required argument, default argument, and variable length argument, always the default argument should be last argument. Always the default argument should be what? Last. Default argument should be what here? Last argument. Default argument you cannot write as a middle or as a first argument. First, you have to write required argument and then variable length argument and then default argument. Now, first you have to write which argument? Variable length argument, and then you have to write which argument? Default. Now, in this case, what you can do is, in this case, what will happen? The value of A is what here? 100. And the value of C is, C values are how many here? 3 values. These 3 values are received by which one? C. Then what is the value of B? 10. Suppose I can call this function 1. Okay, 10 comma, I can give B equal to some 900. I can give B equal to what here? 900. This 10 is a value of A and the value of B is a 900. But what is C here? Empty. Empty tuple. Empty tuple. You can call this function 1 by sending 1. 1 is the value of A and 2, 3, 4, 5 is the value of B and C, and the value of B I'm giving what here? 6. So here 1 is received by A and 2, 3, 4, 5 is received by what? C, and the value of B is taken what here? 6. The value of B is what here? 6. Now when you run this is 10, 20, 110, and the tuple is having how many values? 3 values, 200, 300, and what? 400, and 10 and 900, and this is empty tuple, and 1 and 6, and this is what? 2, 3, 4, and 5. 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So function with a function can have a function can be defined. A function can be defined with multiple types of arguments. So the order of defining these arguments, the order of defining these arguments are first is which arguments, required arguments, and second is what? Variable length arguments, and third is keyword arguments, and the last is which arguments? Default arguments are optional arguments. Default arguments are optional arguments. First one is required arguments, and second one is variable length arguments, and third one is keyword arguments, and last one is which arguments? Default arguments. Default arguments. The last one is the default arguments. For example, there is a function called sum of numbers. Sum of numbers. Sum of numbers. It will receive numbers. But this will receive how many numbers here? Any numbers. Zero or more numbers. Because this is the argument of which one here? Tuple. This is an argument of which one here? Tuple. Okay. Yes. So what I'm doing is each time I'm reading one value for value in what? Number, numbers, and sum equal to sum plus value, and then written what? Sum. Okay, assume that there is one list. There is one list contain 5 values. Now I want to add all these values. So for that, I call the function called which one? Sum of numbers. But can I call this function sum of numbers? Can I call this function sum of numbers by sending list? Can I call this function sum of numbers by sending list? No. See here. Can I call this function by sending list here? No. Because what sum of numbers required? Values. But what you send here? List. What I have to do? I have to send the values. Values means I have to unpack. What I have to do? I have to unpack it. Unpacking. Unpacking means now you are trying to read all these values. From list one, you read all the values and send it to which one? Sum of numbers. Now this is unpacking the list. Unpacking. Unpacking list and sending to function. Unpacking the list and sending to what here? Function. Unpacking. You're trying to unpack this list. What you can do is you can print format total is I can print what? Result 1. So there is a tuple. Tuple is having values like 100, 200, 300, 400, and 500. I want to add all these values. Can I call the sum of numbers? Can I call the sum of numbers by sending the tuple? No. I cannot send the tuple, but I can send the values of what? Tuple. How can I send the values of tuple? I have to unpack. So this is unpacking. This is unpacking of what? Tuple. Unpacking means we read individual values. Individual values are read and send to which function? Sum of numbers. Now format total is I said result 2. So that is unpacking. Now total is 150 and total is what here? 1500. If you want to send a collection to the variable length argument, if you want to send a collection to a variable length argument, what do you have to do? Unpack. So unpacking is done using star. List unpacking is done using star. Tuple unpacking is done using what again? Star. Okay. So unpacking has to be done first. After unpacking, you can send what? Values. After unpacking, you can send the values. Now total is 150 and total is 1500. Total is 150 and total is what here 1500. Okay. So unpacking, if you want to send a list, if you want to send a list or tuple, you have to unpack the values. You have to unpack the values and then you have to send it. Okay. Yes. You can also write a function with one more type of argument which is called as keyword arguments. You can also write a function with keyword arguments. Keyword arguments. Okay, required arguments, required values. Okay, default arguments doesn't require the values. If you don't give the values, it takes the default values, and variable length argument receive either one or more than one value. But you can also write a function with which arguments? Keyword arguments. So a function with keyword arguments, a function with keyword arguments receives key and receives what? Key and value. A function with keyword arguments receives key and value. Key and value. And keyword argument is of type. Keyword argument is of type what? Dictionaries. So this key and values are stored inside what? Dictionary. This key and values are stored inside what? Dictionary. And keyword arguments are prefixed with double star. Okay, if the argument is prefixed with single star, that is what? Variable length argument. If the argument is prefixed with double star, that is what? Keyword argument. If the argument is prefixed with single star, that is variable length argument. If the argument is prefixed with double star, that is what? Keyword argument. So keyword arguments receive zero or more values, zero or more key and what is that? Values. And in this case, key must be of type. Key must be of type which one? String. Key must be of which type here? String. And value can be of any type. And value can be of any type. Value can be of any type. So generally keyword arguments are used. A function with keyword arguments is used. A function with keyword arguments is used to manipulate which data? Dictionary data. Because which one is having key and values? Dictionaries. So keyword arguments, a function with keyword arguments is used to manipulate which data? Dictionary data. So what is the syntax of writing this keyword arguments? You are writing like this: definition and there is a function name. Definition function name. There is an argument 1, argument 2. Oh, sorry. First you have to write required argument. Second you have to write which argument? Variable length argument. And third you have to write which argument? Keyword argument. And fourth you have to write which argument? Default argument. This is the order of writing arguments. Statement 1, statement 2, and you can include multiple statements. But a function definition, a function can have only okay one keyword argument. You cannot have multiple keyword arguments. When you're writing a function, you're writing a function with how many arguments, how many keyword arguments? Only one. This is called as which argument? Keyword argument. This is called as which argument? Variable length argument. This is called as which argument? Required argument. This is called as which argument? Default argument. If you want to perform operation, for example, function 1 is Z. I'm writing star star keyword argument. So any variable name you can give here. But what is a variable name I've given? Keyword arguments. Anything you can give. A, B, C, D, anything. What is the name of the argument? A. This is a function with which argument? Keyword argument. So I can print A, I can print A, and I can print a type of what? A. I can print A, I can print two things. I can print A and I can also print which one? Type of A. So function 1 with two arguments. Okay. I can call this function 1 without sending any values. I can call this function 1 without sending any values. Okay, here I'm not sending any values. Function 1 I called it, that's all. But not send any values. I call the function 1 but not send any values. Not send any values. If you're not sending any values, then dictionary is what here? Empty. Dictionary is empty. I can call this function 1 by sending values. But how you are sending the values? As a key and value. A is a key and 10 is a value. And B is a key. And B is a key and 20 is what? Value. Now you can see the dictionary having a key. A is a key and 10 is a value. B is a key and 20 is a value. But I cannot call this function by sending only values. I can call this function by sending only values. If I'm sending only values, it is given which error? Type error. Function 1 takes 0 positional arguments, but 4 were given, right? So I cannot call this function by sending only one value. I have to call this function by sending the key and value. Function 1. So I can give roll number equal to 1, name equal to some Suresh, and codes equal to, okay, codes equal to which one here? Python. So I try to send it. Roll number is 1 and name is Suresh and codes is what here? Python. So I can send as a key and values. I can call the function by sending the key and values, and that you can call it as keyword arguments. Keyword arguments. For example, so there is a function called add. There is a function called add. Add is a function and it receives key and values. Add is a function, it will receive what? Key and values. If length of A is 0, if length of A is 0, what is the sum? If length of 0, if length of A is 0, what is the sum? None. Okay, else if length of A is 1, okay, sum is which value? First value. If length of A is, or if length of A is equal to 0, then sum equal to what? None. Otherwise, what I have to do? I have to read the key and values. Can I read values? Value in A dot values. I just write A dot values. A dot values. But initially sum is what? 0. And sum equal to sum plus values. what here? Exponent you find with numbers, not with the dictionaries, right? Exponent is used with what? Dictionaries are numbers. An exponent is a binary operator. How you use binary operator? Pi to the power of 2, like this. What? It's a binary operator. It should be between two operands. Exponent value of keyword arguments. What is exponent value of keyword argument? Keyword argument is a dictionary. From that you have to read values and you have to find exponent. You cannot say you can, when you're reading it, you are not reading with star, right? This tells only type. Okay, star indicates type of argument. It is not exponent. It is represent only type of argument. So it is which type of argument? Keyword. Then star is also multiplier, right? But that tells only type. It is which type of argument, that's all. Okay. So return some exponent values in keyword arguments. What is this? Exponent values in keyword arguments means you read values and find exponent. From this dictionary, keyword argument means what? Dictionary only, right? What is keyword argument? Dictionary. What is keyword argument? It is a dictionary. Read values from dictionary. Read values from dictionary and find the, okay, read values from dictionary and find it. Okay. Okay, right. Now this is, yeah, what I'm doing is, now what you can do is you can put all executable statements inside one function called which one? Main. You can also write main function here, but it is also user defined. See, actually what you're doing it, you're writing all executable statements separately. You're saying add, now this is an executable statement. Result 2 equal to add, n1 equal to 100, n2 equal to what? 200. Result 3 equal to add, okay, some x equal to 10, x equal to 10. Result 4 equal to add, I'm trying to say p equal to 10 and q equal to 20 and r equal to 30. Okay, some n equal to what here? 50. So all these are executable statements. All these are executable statements. I print result 1, result 2, result 3, and result 4. I want to print all these values in a new line. I just use backslash n. Okay, I use backslash n, right? So I try to print result 1, result 2, result 3, and one more value I'm printing is what here? Result 4. So instead of writing executable statement, now first one is none, because are you send any values to the add function? No. Second time I call the function add by sending n1 and n2. This argument, keyword argument hold how many values? 2 values. You are reading values from dictionary and then you're adding it. Okay. And then you read values from dictionary. How can you read values from dictionaries? By using what? Values. Okay. So all these are executable statements. Instead of writing this executable statement separately, You can include all these executable statements inside one function called main. You can include all these executable statements inside a function called what? Main. And you can just call which function? Main function. So how many executable statements are there here? Only one. What is that executable statement? Main. Now your program execution starts from where? Main. Inside the main, you write all the logic. Inside the main, you write all the logic. The operation performed by your program, you write inside which function here? Main function. The operation performed by your program, so that you are writing in which function? Main. But main is a predefined or user defined? User defined function. It is not a predefined function, it is a user defined function. So main is not a predefined. Now none, 310 and one more value is what? 110. So all executable statements you can include in one function called which one? Main. So main, you can say entry point of your program. Main is an entry point, but it is not a predefined function. It is which one? User defined function. In the place of main, can I write any other function name? Yes, no problem, because it is which function? User defined only. But other languages like C, C++, Java uses name as which one? Main. But here also you can use a name as what? Main. But what you write in main? All executable statements. What you write inside a main is all executable statements. So all executable statements. So in this case, main is not a predefined function. Okay, main function or main is not a predefined function. Is not a predefined function. It is not a predefined function. It is what here? User defined. It is not a predefined function. It is which function? User defined function. It is a user defined function. And this function consists of all which statements? Executable statements. You are including all executable statements. You are including all executable statements inside which one? Main function. Okay. Yes. But it is not a predefined. It is not a predefined. It is what? User defined. So generally I said you write a function with the keyword arguments to manipulate dictionaries. I said you are writing. Now you are writing function with the keyword arguments. You are writing a function with the keyword arguments to manipulate dictionaries. For example, I am writing one function called display dictionary. This is having which argument? Keyword argument. Now this argument read key and values from dictionary dot items. Key comma value in dictionary dot items. And what you're doing, you're trying to print which value? Key value. And equal to, you're trying to print which value? Value. So it is used for formatting dictionaries, right? Assume that there is one dictionary. There is one dictionary called Courses Dictionary, which is having a course name and fees, which is having the course name and the fees, which is having course name, okay, and the fees, okay, which is having course name, and next one is what? Fees. Now I want to display this dictionary. I'm just writing display dictionary. Can I send the dictionary? Can I send the dictionary? Tell me, can I send the dictionary to this display dictionary? No. Display dictionary receive what? Dictionary or key and values? What you are sending here? Are you sending key values or dictionary? Dictionary. But actually display dictionary receive what? Key and values. What you have to do is you have to unpack. You have to unpack the dictionary. What you have to do is you have to unpack the dictionary. So unpacking lister is done by using single star. Unpacking dictionary is done by using double star. Now this double star indicates what? Unpacking which one here? Dictionary. Unpacking dictionary. You're trying to unpack the dictionary and send it. Now Java equal to 5,000, C equal to 2,000, and Python is 5,000, and C++ is 1,500. Like that, assume that there is a grade dictionary is there. Grade dictionary is having name of the student and colon grade of the student. Name of the student and the grade of the student. Okay, name of the student. Okay, and grade of the student. Okay, name of the student and then grade of the student. I want to display this dictionary. I'm writing display dictionary. I have to unpack. So star, what I have to say? Grade dictionary. This is unpacking. This is unpacking what here? Dictionary. Unpacking dictionary. This is unpacking what here? Dictionary. You can see this is a name and this is a value. This is a name and this is a value. This is a name and this is a value. And this is a name and this is what here? Value. Right? But we cannot send a dictionary to the keyword arguments. Okay, you cannot send the dictionary to the keyword arguments, but you can send a dictionary key and values. But how can you send the dictionary key and values? How can you send the dictionary key and value? By unpacking it. Unpacking means you are sending key and values. You are sending key and values. We cannot send the dictionary directly. So in order to send, okay, in order to send a dictionary, send a dictionary to keyword arguments. In order to send a dictionary to keyword arguments, dictionary has to be unpacked and send it to what? Keyword arguments. This unpacking is done using double star. This unpacking is done using what? Double star. So you can write a function with all the types of arguments. For example, function 1 is there with variable length argument, with that variable length argument, and with what? Keyword argument. So I'm writing print A, then I'm writing print B. So I can call the function 1. If I'm not sending any values, then A is empty tuple and B is empty dictionary. A is empty tuple and B is a empty dictionary. Tuple is empty and dictionary is also empty. Tuple is empty and dictionary is also empty. See here, both are empty. Tuple is empty and dictionary is also empty. I can call the function one by sending values. If I'm sending values, these values are received by which one? A. These values are received by A. Means tuple is having how many values? Three values, but dictionary is empty. I can call the function one by sending key and values. When I'm calling the function by sending key value, that is received by which one? B. B is a keyword argument now. X is the value of X is a 10 and the value of Y is what? 20. I can call the function one by sending both. I'm sending values. I'm sending what here? Key. X equal to 100 and Y equal to what? 200. So values are received by tuple and key and values are received by what? Dictionary. So you can write a function which perform the operation using both only values and key and values, which perform the operation using only values, key and values, then you write it with the keyword arguments. Yeah, you can use all the types of arguments. You can use all types of arguments. You can use all type of arguments, but I say no. The order should be what is the order of writing it? The order of writing it. The order is like this: required arguments, variable length arguments, keyword arguments, and default arguments. Okay, default argument. Now this is order of writing it. This is the order of writing it. Required argument, variable length argument, keyword argument, and one more is the default arguments. This is only, you write it here, you practice it. Manish, you practice default and keyword, you practice. What is there in that? First you write keyword and then you write default. Okay. The next is, what you can write is, now sometimes you may write a function inside a function. Sometimes you write a function inside a function, and writing a function inside a function, that you can call it as what? Nested functions. So a function inside a function inside a function is called which one here? Nested function. A function inside a function or function within function is called nested. Is called which function? Nested function. If you're writing a function inside a function, so that you can call it as which function? Nested function, right? So what is the use of? What is the use of? Why nested functions? Usages or uses of nested functions. Where nested functions are used? First one is hiding function inside function. Second one is nested functions are used to develop special functions. Special functions like decorators, and closers. Decorators and what is that? Closers. What is the use of nested functions? Hiding a function inside a function. And nested functions are used to develop special functions like decorators and what? Closers. Now nested functions allows to split one function into number of sub functions, into number of sub functions. So all these are the usages of nested functions. Like nested if means if inside the if is called nested if. Nested for means for loop inside a for loop is called nested for loop. And if you are writing a function inside a function, you call it as what? Nested function. What is the syntax of writing a nested function? You are writing like this: definition and followed by function name. And this function is with what here? Arguments. And inside this function, you write the statements. Inside this function, you write the statements, and then you write another function. You write another function. Now, this is called which function now? Inner function. This is called as inner function. The same thing is called as which function? Nested function. You can call this as which function here? Outer function. You can call this as which function here? Inner function. Inner function. The same thing you call it as which one? Nested function. Inner function. This is called as inner function or nested function, right? So it means this function is hidden inside this function. Okay, this function is hidden inside this function. So function within a function. This is a function within this function. Now this function is called which function? Inner function, or the same thing is called which function? Nested function. We'll see how to work with this nested functions, right? Tomorrow we'll see, and today we'll stop it here, and tomorrow we'll continue with the nested functions, right? Thank you. Okay, I'll send it. Yeah, I'll send.